been in here. I've been in here streaming for a few hours and been drinking already. But just before I got off, and my AC quit working, and it crept up to 95 inside this motherfucker.
How about this? Is that any better?
You're
Maybe
still in
my
the elevator
microphone's finally
shaft, but
taking
you're
a
a little
shit.
closer.
It's louder.
Yeah, you're yelling louder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also, maybe I just don't have very good internet here at Bart's also, because I keep losing you guys.
Are you on the same floor as the router?
I don't know. Doubt it. I'm up in the...
That's part of testing, bro.
Issues with Andy 17. I think you'll find that I moved closer to the router.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of, it's not like I can just podcast anywhere I want in this place. You know what I mean? I'm in my room.
Well,
but the microphone still sounds like shit, huh?
Yeah. If you
Try
go
jiggling the cable.
Andy, it's my turn to troubleshoot. If you go into the settings and go into audio video, look and see what it's what the microphone is.
You might have accidentally hooked into a microphone that's in the next room, I think.
Or on the moon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's crazy. All right, here we go. How about this? How about that?
Hey, look at that, everyone.
Hey, there we are.
And it didn't take a whole
Life
episode.
is good. I do keep losing you guys, though. I don't know if this is going to work.
My manager has been talking to me about getting my call times down. I think that gets a mark on the board.
You still look kind of hungover, but your sound's better.
Oh, dude, I'm wrecked.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys keep dropping out on me, so I don't know what we should do. Maybe this
You're
isn't gonna
solid
work.
for
Maybe
me.
I should come to Coots.
Oh. That place is too Republican now.
I don't know what that means, but it's funny.
Fuck. All right, I'm gonna drop out and try to come back in.
I'm recording, so
even if Erickson is hooked in good, I say we all just stare at him dumbfounded, like we're waiting for him.
Yeah.
Turn our mics off.
So you hear the rain here.
I'm sure we'll talk about it, but Erickson's plan of not really drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Coots has bested better men, my friend. Don't even fucking tempt the gods with this one.
That's funny that he even tried to say that he was going to do that. Holy shit.
And then to say it on stage is like, what? You're just asking for shots, bro. All they want to do is they want to watch you drown on stage.
Yeah, even if you said you were, just got your 1 year chip at Coots, they'd still send you shots.
Yeah.
Prove it. Beg it.
This new liver. I can't be drinking with this new liver. I just got it last week. Shots.
Are any of the midgets still up there?
What's that?
Any of the midgets still around Coots?
No.
Like there's
I
think,
busy. Taco Joe and Dave.
Dave's the one I met.
Taco Joe, I've seen. Taquito Joe, sorry. Taco's his taller brother.
Yeah.
Dave. I think I know Kenny, who was kind of I think he was the first guy.
The lead midget.
I don't want to say lead because I don't want to put them in because they were all great and they all he was the first one to kind of step in and recruit I think Dave, but Kenny died a few years ago, but Dave, I think Dave's a mechanic over at the airport.
I think it was Kenny that heckled me, but it was like being heckled by a midget is not being heckled. It's just like helping. It does help a show.
Yeah. You actually are helping, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Hey, all those Santa Claus,
get a pass.
Santa's workshop references never worked before, but now they're just fucking killing.
Yeah, I saw Dave. I think it might have been during when we were up here for the Alaska Before You Die Fest in 2019. I think I saw him here. And I know I saw Taquito Joe. So
can midgets come back as ghosts?
good question.
Well,
yeah. Nobody's ever said. I think I saw Billy Barty scampering around.
well, I mean, they're harder to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
They're
never looking
smaller.
down. You're looking up.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
So
There's
are
Brett,
ghost midgets
but
shorter?
Yeah.
They don't float as high?
Right.
Yeah.
Or they come back taller, and you're like, fuck.
I didn't recognize you, buddy.
So, is Erickson there?
Yeah.
I see him.
I'm here.
We're
You
just
look
cutting out.
perturbed at us.
I am perturbed, but not at you guys.
Well, being sober will do that.
I'm not sober.
We heard your best plan. It's like when you get punched in the face, all your plans go out the window.
Yeah, I got Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right.
You
Seems to
have
be a little
another
bit better
show up there,
connection.
Erickson, or are you
I'm
all done
done.
now? So now it's
We're
just
done.
hanging out time.
Yeah, thank
Nice.
God.
Get back to sober.
It's been 2 nights
Start working
of
out.
craziness.
So you did 2 shows, or you did 2 at Coots.
No, it's 2 nights though. One in Wasilla, about 50 miles north of here, and then at the Matsu Resort, the completely renovated Matsu Resort. That was awesome. Yeah, and then 2 shows here: Saturday, 7 o'clock and 9:30. That 9:30 show was, like a Saturday second show you would expect, but Alaska style.
Yeah, the
It was
Alaska
very
probably
cootsy.
they haven't had shows up there, so they're probably working harder on their audience skills, huh?
Oh yeah, getting back to heckling and
getting back to
flooding
being
the stage
fucking...
with buckets.
Yeah, we've got some good footage of some of the craziness from that second show, so we'll look at it and get it up and out there. It was fucking crazy.
I won't give away, Eric, but I just woke up today and kind of running through things that went down last night, and then I went and checked that the footage was there. And when that guy drank that shot, that I won't tip what's going on, but when that guy drank that shot, I thought, wow, this is post-COVID, and he did that? Fuck me. I'm so glad he was in the camera frame, because it was, disgusting.
Yeah. I'll tell the story, but I'm getting pissed off about this. You guys, I just keep losing it. I can't, you guys are dropping in and out audio and video. So I think
hold on a second.
I should come to
grab
Coots.
an Uber and just come down here?
Yeah, I'm going to come to Coots. So you guys just keep going, and I'll be there in like 15 minutes or something.
Okay. You can tell when a guy's alcoholic starts drinking again, they get all sketchy. He's stopping off at a liquor store getting a pint. I like it when he cuts out. He can only hear a little bit of the shit he's getting.
Yeah, that's not weird to us either.
Well, what's weird is when he used to have shitty internet is we would see him cut out. Now he's perfectly fine. And he hasn't cut out once for me. I've seen him and heard him fine the whole time. My AC just fucking shit out again. Now it's 92 in here. You're going to watch me fucking roast.
Yeah, you guys get a total heat wave, right?
It's like 111 out right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we had that a couple of weeks ago, the hottest June to begin June and in record, and now it's back to feels like Eugene again. It's been raining every day. It's raining right now. My weed plants are all getting plenty of water. It's very, I don't know. I don't like the hot weather anymore. I mean, I go to it. The Death Valley is great, but fucking where you live being over 90 degrees more than a few days, fuck that. I do not vote for climate change. I'm out.
Who did?
I know. Well, I can't even deny it. Like some people don't even believe it is happening, but I think like the fires, prolonged fire seasons and everything, that doesn't tip the hat a little bit. It's getting a little drier every year. That's all right. Humans had a good run. I'm watching War of the Worlds on Epix. It's not great, but I just like anything where people all die. Like, that's my favorite kind of. If that's the genre, that's my favorite. End of the world or.
Dystopia.
I don't like I don't like zombie shit anymore because that's just that, you know, there's no solid rules. Some of them are fucking way too fast. Like,
Yeah.
I don't believe that when your muscles start deteriorating, you can do more superhuman running.
Well, you know, you can't overthink zombies for sure because, I mean, if you look at it that way, all you have to do realistically is just wait a little bit and then it's over. But fuck fast zombies. I will say that. Listen, fast zombies suck. Slow. The whole fucking tension of the building is, I could kick this one's ass. Oh, fuck, now there's 4. Oh, shit, now there's 30. That's the fucking whole zombie.
With the fast zombies, it would just be, what, maybe 48 hours and everyone would be dead.
Done.
Because you've got no defense against something that's super, super fast, like a cheetah. Yeah. And that can run forever.
Yeah, like big fat dudes, all of a sudden they're dead. Now they're fucking working out and shit, running around. Bullshit. But the War of the Worlds is just it's kind of, I mean, it's how I'd like to see it end, is like aliens drop some shit and then people just fucking die because of the frequency, I think it is. I don't know. It's real fucking boring, though. If it wasn't for the people dying, I don't think I would watch it.
You know the original War of the Worlds story, though. That's a good fucking story. I don't like the movie that they made of it.
You're talking about the radio
play.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I guess this is a reimagining. How about reimagining it with a better cast? Gabriel Byrne is carrying the thing. I mean, I don't even know who that is. Yeah, see? And there's no hot chicks. I don't know. It's like they didn't even try to get a good cast for it.
Well, I mean,
but I'm that desperate. I've watched all the
you can afford, Andy.
Yeah. Well, it's FX too.
Well, no hot chicks. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just like a cast of characters that you're not really invested in any of them. Like you got to root for somebody.
Did you guys watch the zombie one, Netflix, that Tig Notaro they put in instead of Chris D'Elia?
It's I just watched it and I kicked out like in 15 minutes. I'm like, I can't.
It's not great, but some of the effects were good, and at this point, anything that Garrett Dillahunt is in, I will watch the whole part, at least up until he dies.
Who is he?
That's the dude that was. He played 2 different guys in Deadwood. He played Jack McCall, who shot Wild Bill, and then later he played Wolcott, who came back with a beard and flawlessly. Like it didn't fuck. Usually, if you're watching a show and the same dude shows up as 2 different characters, like fuck you. But it didn't fuck it up at all. It was really good. And
now that you mention it, I know which one he was. He was the one. Yeah. I watched that thing, but I watched it in like 5 chunks. I just wanted to kind of get through it, but it was like, it was like fucking not good. And then I watched the making.
I had low expectations, though.
Yeah.
Always.
I watched the making of it, and like they're talking about how genius and how great it is. Like, maybe I should have watched this first. I disagree.
Yeah, I like the special effects. Like you said, it was kind of like a Transformers zombie movie, I guess.
I liked how it started. It started pretty cool with a roadhead causing an accident and all that. I was like, yeah, this is going to be really good. And then
I don't even remember that.
Right? Wasn't that how horrible?
Greg, maybe I'm sure it was. I don't remember.
Yeah. Speaking of, well, not zombies, but fast, I spent 4 days at the NCAA track meet and watching the fucking athletes kill it. It was, it's like, and you look around the crowd, it's like, well, nobody here could do any of this shit. It's a kind of sport too, where you don't have people. I mean, there's a few track people, But for the most part, nobody thinks they could do that shit. Like basketball or like football, there's always somebody like, come on, catch the damn ball. You got one job, catch the ball. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, dude. 16 rows up, head on down. They got some equipment for you. Let's see how this goes. But those fucking kids, I mean, they're like, the only thing that I think I could remotely do is maybe like throw the javelin, but not like they do. But I could, like, skill set. I don't think I could run 100 meters all out. Fuck no. Not even that. 100 meters, that's the shortest race. I don't think I could start off and run all out for 100 meters. Not without a bong hit. That, I mean, how are you going to do that while running? It's going to slow you up.
I can't
You
imagine.
have to do a bong hit while running. Like the starter pistol would go and you would load the bong.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't just do it before you got in the blocks.
I do it in the blocks, yeah.
That's a timing issue.
We had a
go.
Yeah, fuck it. Okay, everybody got out of the blocks early. I quit. Or what's really amazing, like a race like the 10,000 meters, where there's like occasionally somebody will get knocked over, and in the ladies race, a girl got knocked over, so she was way back. And then when you get lapped, and that's when I would just like step off the track, or like finish the top 3 are coming, and you still have a lap and a half to go. It's like I just go, oh yeah, and act like I got 3rd or 4th place. Oh, I lapped to go. Well, fuck. I guess I'm done then. All right, I didn't win. Shit.
What? How far is 10,000 meters, Andy?
Ooh, well, 1,500 meters, like 3.5 laps. So it's like 15. I never didn't do but it's
well, it's like a track is. I remember from high school and junior high, a track is a quarter of a mile.
Quarter mile.
Eight laps was a mile.
Yeah, so
when I was in the Army,
a little bit shy of a mile. Yeah, the 1,500. That seems like a long fucking race. But the way they're just so fucking efficient at running track meets, though. It's like one thing ends and then there's something else starting on the other end, or there's like no dead time. As it's track and field, people would go, all right, fuck it.
It's like when you're at the airport and you're at the Southwest terminal, and like there's 2 or 3 airplanes departing within minutes. So there's all these announcements, and you're like, is that our plane? No, is this our plane?
Yeah.
And it's all going on at the same time. In track and field in the middle, there's dangerous things like the hammer throw and the javelin toss going on at the same time as people are going around the track running.
Well, the hammer toss they have that next door, but they do have shot put and javelin going on during the meet, and the long jump is going on, and high jumps going on, and pole vault. It's a very coordinated effort, and it's like kind of it's amazing to see, like, to just fuck the 100 meters, bang. And this is also amazing is the Yahoo factor, like at a track meet. This is a 20,000. It's this new stadium they built, so it seats like 20,000, and they kept the numbers down for COVID, but there's still 5,000 or 6,000 people, and they go, runners come to your marks, and then they, there's a long pause where it's like that's a comedy show, somebody's yelling. So there's like to me, I'm thinking, how do 5,000-6,000 people keep their mouth shut at the time where everybody would hear them if they yelled out something stupid, and they'd probably get a laugh and they'd screw up the race. But
what
they don't
did
do
you
it.
Yell out?
I didn't. But I'm afraid. But when that happens, I'm afraid I'm gonna be the one who just
yeah.
Got this girl. Just some stupid shit. It makes me feel like that could happen at a comedy show. It's like, come on, man. If you can be silent with 6,000 people in a very tense moment like the start of a race, then you should be able to shut the fuck up through a dick joke. Sorry, I didn't mean to screw up the race. I thought I was helping.
That sounds like a unique place, though, Andy, where people fucking don't act like an asshole. I used to go to the Renaissance the Renaissance fair with my family every year for the same reason. for some reason, everybody there's super polite, like overly polite to each other.
Mhm.
Nobody wants to be a dickweed at the Renaissance Festival. So I was like, fuck it, I'll hang out there.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
you're all
maybe.
wearing capes and got pointy wizard hats on.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
first person to poop on someone into the house of cards just falls.
Yeah,
Walking around.
You don't know who the real wizard is, so everybody's just
Yeah.
respectful.
Walking around in a constant state of embarrassment will really cut the legs out from underneath the aggression.
Yeah. Nobody kicks mud when they're wearing elf shoes. I watched a replay of the women's track meet, and I was the seat I had for the women's preliminaries was right above the starting line, and I was watching the replay, and it's like, oh fuck, that creepy guy up there has got the binoculars on. What's he doing? Oh, it's me. That's me there.
Andy, I will tell you right now, my granddaughter is really interested in gymnastics and stuff. I think she's watching a show about it or something, but she's wanting to practice stuff and do, cartwheels and stuff. So I'll pull up on YouTube instructional videos to show her how to do cartwheels and things. And we go well, now I have all these recommended videos on YouTube, and they're creepy as fuck. And they're like girls long jump, and it's just this slow motion where the fucking chicks land, and then their ass is all covered in sand, and they get up, and it's just zoomed in on their ass. They get up, and they're pulling the thong out of their ass, and they're smacking their butt cheeks to get the sand off in slow motion. I'm like, I didn't want to get included into this group, fucking assholes. I'm just trying to show her how to do cartwheels.
It's as though you're watching my binoculars.
Well, I mean, I watched 2 or 3 of them. I was so disgusted with it. I was like, listen, this is gross. Don't show me these.
I notice I make a different sound. Like if a dude misses a pole vault or a high jump, I go, oh. And when a girl misses it, I go, oh. Like, ooh. Yeah, there he is.
Look who it is.
Wow, he disappeared into the Renaissance.
I don't know. What do you think?
Like magic, my AC
we can
started
go
up when
right
Erickson
here.
appeared at 95. It's just fighting this temperature outside.
Or if you
It's
get
so
it set up, you
fucking
have to have
hot.
headphones so that we
I got
don't.
everything.
Yeah, set up right there. Move his over.
Okay.
We're coordinating this, guys.
Yeah.
Bear with.
Yeah, it's like a track meet.
Step right there. Here's the
Run smoothly.
username password. The thing on top there.
I looked. I got all that Auburn gear from my friend Scott, who coaches at Auburn, and like I walk around, I look like I belong. That's like one of the few places where I look like I belong, and I can. Oh yeah, that's a steeplechaser. You can steeplechasers probably, or 3,000 meters.
Yeah, I think this is a distance one.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to punch you in the belly, but not to be cruel. I just, it's like those are some muscular bellies right there.
Wait, why did you want to punch a woman in the belly?
I mean, it's just look at their abs. Like, I'd like to punch anybody in the belly with those kind of stomach.
Oh, you're
muscles.
jealous? You're jealous of her abs? Why don't you just work harder, Andy?
Like he wants to test them out. I don't think he's jealous.
Oh, like the Houdini punch?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're saying, Andy. I recently found a Instagram account. I like the yoga. I started off looking at yoga poses for health reasons, and then I found out that a lot of Instagram yoga is not about yoga. So I really dig it. It's really nice. And I found one on there. She's got an OnlyFans that I'd be interested in clicking on, but I don't know how to discreetly do it. But I'll get over it. I'm just enamored for a second.
It's like
you're already jammed up with gymnastic pictures. You want to get on another list?
That's probably why I'm on the list, is because Instagram monitors what I zoom in on. I never thought about that before. I'm like, I'm a pervert, man.
Here's a real specialty for you, Chad, is Google steeplechase wipeouts women. I mean, you can see lots of dudes but the steeplechase is one of the most vicious races because they're.
What is it?
They have fixed hurdles. There's like 3 jumps, and then there's a water jump in there, or maybe 4 jumps, but they're fixed. They're like plywood.
Horses?
Yeah, like horse jumps. And like a hurdle, if you mess up on it, and I saw 4 or 5 pretty good wipeouts on hurdles, but the steeplechase, if your legs aren't ready for that last hurdle or one of the hurdles, you fucking go down hard. And then like the women in the water, it's like yeah.
Wait, Andy. What do you mean the women? What do you mean
well,
the women in the water?
Andy is so perverted.
I know
Andy,
it's kind of
Makes
but
me
I know
feel better
I know that
about how
my
perverted
list.
I am.
there's an area at the new stadium where you can look down at the athletes' tents, and they're like, see, like that's a water jump. Well, they'll dump over into the water.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah,
I'd watch that.
Oh, I watched a dude who was in first place for the Olympics. He was going to go to the Olympics, and coming around the last turn, he had one hurdle to get, and he was ahead by like 50 meters. He was way up on everybody. Went down. He probably broke his leg or something, and fucking went down in a heap. And those other people, they don't feel bad. They just go past him and take that Olympic spot from him. But yeah, see that sort of thing. And that other girl's. It looks like she's trying to help her, but she's getting ready, spikes, and has to go over that thing and probably step on her.
They got spikes too.
Yeah, it's the most. I mean, it's a entertaining race. It's like 3,000 meters, and then the one I watched the other day was the fastest time by a collegiate girl, and then the second place was also the fastest time in history, I think.
Andy, this steeplechase looks like the Laugh Olympics.
Sort of.
It looks goofy, right?
Yeah. Well, the water jump is definitely vicious, but there's those other hurdles. You can tell there's like when their legs start going, and then their steps are off, and it's like, they'll fucking go down hard. Yeah. It's that's one of my favorite races to watch the women run.
Is this like boxing to UFC? Like where like now we have like Ninja Warrior where they do stuff. What do they do on this? They just run and jump?
They run, well, the hurdles are spaced out, and they run I think it's 3,000 meters, so it's a pretty long race.
But what he's saying, Chad, is it's different than like the hurdles, because the hurdles you can, if you hit it with your knee or your foot,
it just falls over.
It falls and then goes back up. These are fixed jumps.
Yeah. So
and,
you eat
and
shit.
it is really like a horse race, like steeplechase.
Yeah. It's the best, some of the best wipeouts when especially like in the early laps when I don't think the first 2 or 3 laps they have the water jump, and then they have they go into the water, and so their legs are already starting to get burned, and then they're in a big pack. So it's like, it's something to see like 15 women jump over a fixed hurdle into a water thing, where if you miss that, you're going to fall down too. So it's that's my favorite of those races. I like the distance races, the sprints and shit. All them girls are fucking. It's just too fast, It's like you can't. It's like there, and then you can't really tell. Like I was at the starting line, so you just look at the big screen, and it's like it's over. But like watching them run 5,000 meters, it's like you can really get into the race, and you can see, the strategy of it and shit. But and then
I mean, if you're just watching it on the big screen, why wouldn't you just watch it at home?
That's why I talked my wife out of going on. Well, she went one day, and then so like I said, I dressed like the coaches and shit, and I wore a Marilyn Manson laminate, so I had a laminate. But you wore a
laminate from a fucking Marilyn Manson show to try and truck through the track meet.
Yeah.
Oh, well, my Lord.
Because they wouldn't they don't let non-track athletes exit through some of the parts of the stadium, and I like to just do what I want to do. If I want to go sit in the press area and have a sandwich, that's my business. And if you don't believe this laminate, then I'll find another one. But so when I was with my wife, I wanted to exit through this way. It would have been way more convenient. And I was already halfway through. And then she stops she goes, "Oh, you can't go through here. This is for track athletes." And all I had was she's handicapped. So then they sent us around, and we had to walk another mile or so. But it's like, that's why I don't like traveling with, I can do what I want, but I can't drag somebody else there.
Yeah.
But I went with James, and I forgot my. They didn't ask for the COVID vax card the first couple days. So the third day I was there, and there was a big line for the third day. That was the day that there was and I did what I had to look around because I cut in line. There was like There's like a way back this line, and then there was a break where they were asking you for your COVID card or whatever. And I was like, looked around, and it's like, all right, Gary Busey's not here. Let's just squeeze up here. And I didn't have they needed to see the vaccine card. And James had his, and and then I was like, fuck, I'm searching all my pockets, and I didn't have my card. And I was like, and then it took a minute, and then I was like, James, just give me your card. That bothers me. That feels like an onslaught of dementia that I didn't instantly think, give me your card, you know. So he gave me his card. I showed it and was into the stadium. And the first time into this new stadium, I might be the first person who snuck in because I couldn't figure out everything's fucking electronic.
I can't believe you just didn't show him your Marilyn Manson pass.
I didn't. Yeah, I should have. The first day I walked in there and I had Auburn gear on. And the guy goes, Coach, you can come through here. So I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't even need a laminate. He just assumed
stolen valor.
Yeah, stolen valor. Fuck yeah. So yeah, if I can, get any perks related to anything, what do you think I am? Okay, yeah, I'm doing that. I could have gone down and helped I shouldn't say no, I don't know. I mean, we're woke now, but I call them the put pigs, the shop. It's like all the women at the track meet. They're all athletes, and some of them are. I mean, like steeplechase and the 5,000, 10,000 meters. They're borderline anorexic looking, but I know they're athletes, and I know the other women who shot put aren't pigs, but they definitely look like they could beat the shit out of most men. And I respect that. They're like the first flight of shot putters, and that's like, yeah, that like a flight. I would like to, like sample each. Big girls, big.
I don't like beers.
I don't think you're as woke as you think you are.
I don't know if you know what woke means.
Yeah.
Javelin's kind of in between. There's some, there's more. I don't know. I mean, but it's like a shot put girl. There's no incentive to not eat more. Like, it's not going to affect it as long as their shoulder and they can spin around and chuck that thing.
I can't tell if Andy's a fan or not.
I kind of am. I think I like getting free stuff. I like track.
I feel like he goes there to be a pervert, to be honest. I don't know what's happening.
Or he's a coach. I mean, they're waving him through with this.
He's a coach to get closer because he's a pervert.
Well, when I got the laminate for I'm not giving anything away now. This was 4 years ago. Somebody, not the coach that I know, gave me a laminate. And so I had the legit coaching credentials at the Olympic trials. And I walked around and hung out and, watching everybody warm up. It's like a different thing. It's like being in a paddock, I wasn't out there like watching the shot putters. Yeah. See, she's probably not going to win.
She's not.
But
she looks pretty soft. She looks soft.
Andy's in the where they put the horses before they go on the track, where like everyone, like their trainers and stuff are kind of primping on him, but then the bettors are like, oh yeah, look at him, he's looking pretty good today. Andy's in there with his coaching laminate and his Marilyn Manson laminate, and then like looking him over, like pull the mask down, let me see you.
Andy's lifting it.
Yeah. Yeah,
strong,
I mean,
strong bones. He's got strong bones.
It's borderline creeper, but I didn't like when I had the laminate. There was an area where it said coaches and athletes massage area. Like, maybe I better stay out of that one. Like, Jesus,
damn it! I forgot my massage laminate at home.
I've been coaching so hard. Oh, baby. I've been coaching so long and so
going
hard.
There all mad and stressed. Son of a bitches won't listen to me.
I was hoping for a happier ending for my athletes, but but there's kind of a long history of creepiness in coaching and massages and shit in track and in football and in wrestling
gymnastics.
And in everything. Gymnastics. Bo Schembachler's an enabler. Fuck him. And so the year I was at the Olympic trials, I was at the warm-up track, and the national anthem played, And I noticed behind me was Carl Lewis. Used to be the fastest human being, and he had a well-known sports. He sang the national anthem, and I'm not sure at what event it was, but it was hilarious. His voice cracks, and then he's and then he goes, "Wait, I'll bring it back," and then he's even worse. So I'm listening to the national anthem. It's me and Carl Lewis is right behind me, and the anthem ends, and he walks by me, and I said, "Your version was way better," and it just hung there, and then he's got about 10 steps away, and then I hear him. He's got a beautiful laugh, very high pitched. Like it's like one of those like it's like, oh shit, he heard it. I know he fucking heard it, and then it was like, oh man, if he turns around and whoops my ass here for that, but he had a sense of humor about it. Thank God. I would hate to be beaten by the fastest gay man ever.
Well, there would be no escape for you.
No. And he's still fit like that. He's like a vegan or something. So he could still probably wallow.
Is Carl Lewis out, or did you just out Carl Lewis?
I'm pretty sure I would hope.
I remember him from as a kid,
Carl Lewis is not gay. If Carl Lewis is not gay, then I'm not.
Nobody's gay.
Yeah.
His wife McBeard face.
Yeah. Carl, it's time you stopped running from yourself.
Yeah. Oh man,
Caitlyn Jenner's running mate.
I have outed him, but no, that would be like, did you know Carl Lewis is gay? Or yeah, everybody knows that. Even if he's not gay, he's gay, like in the good way, like the pride. Put on a pair of cut-off shorts that are splayed, little tank top. Shit.
I have definitely found out that people that I just didn't know, and I guess because probably I don't care is probably a big part of it. But I in the last 10 years or so, I have found out that people that are celebrities and whatnot that are gay that I didn't know that. Maybe everybody else did, but I didn't. So I don't know. I don't have gaydar, I guess.
Remember the Eddie Murphy bit? Like, you can have gay friends. Like I remember that being hilarious, and now it's like, come on, man, that's not cool. Yeah. Oh, all your gay friends, all they want to do is go suck dick. Come on, they do a lot of other stuff, I'm sure.
Wait a minute now.
They do butt stuff too.
I've been looking for a pit bull puppy on Craigslist, and I'm pretty jealous of the gay community because the heterosexual community does not be like, hey, I'm giving out blowjobs down by the river. If you guys want to come down and hang out, that's where I'll be. And you never get that there's not women going, I'm giving blowjobs for free by the river. So gay guys have it better in that regard, I think.
Well, I would say from my experience going over to the gay, it was more of a gay thing, but it was it's called Glass Bar, and it was a nude beach on the river, but it was just dudes humping up into the brush. The first time I went there, I just saw a bunch of cars parked there, and I was looking for a spot to play with my dog. And
you didn't know all the Craigslist messages that had been exchanged beforehand. You just walked right into the middle of the meeting ground.
It had all the earmarks of it being a nude beach. It was just a bunch of fat dudes with their little peckers out, and but then this area there's a bunch of like natural, just areas where people go fuck, so then the grass gets matted down. It's like
like we're a buffalo land.
Oh.
yeah, like a buff. And then
the grass
and it was kind of like a maze. So when the first time I realized, and then I got into the river, walked across, and was hanging with my dog over in this area, and then a young dude comes out, and then he smiles at me, and I was like, okay, and then he offers to suck my dick, and like, no, I'm here with my dog.
Like, my dog's gonna take care of that.
Dear Penthouse, I never thought I would turn down a blowjob. Recently, awkward happened. Did he look like a Native American Indian? I think he was Mexican, but I was like, at the time, I was like thinking, that's how if the Native Americans would have let off with, hey, when the fucking first white people showed up and they just sucked their dicks. They probably have all their land still. But
and their dogs.
Spear stick, and that's what made me think he was like a Native American, because he had a walking stick that was sharp on one end, and then and smiled at me, friendly guy. But and then trying to get out of that
Miles Standish.
Yeah. And all these different trails and stuff, and I walked up, trying to getting out of that place, and I had no sense of direction anyway, and there was all these little carved trails, looked like the regular trails. So I walked up on a couple of guys fucking one dude hammering the other dude, and then it's like like gave me like I could fucking nah,
move along, dude.
Like I could it's that friendly of a place. Like the two dudes were having intimate time, and they invited me to join. Like,
Andy, do you think maybe the guy thought that you wanted him to suck your dog's dick too, and that's why it was the turn on? I'm with my dog. I don't know. Maybe
my dog went down and sniffed this guy.
Can you hook him up?
There, before I got out of there that day, there was a guy laying on his belly, just sunning himself, and my dog went up there, and I thought, oh shit, guys, like Riley, and I didn't want to alert the guy, and then Riley put her nose in his ass, and he didn't even flinch, he kind of slowly turned around, he goes, oh, nice puppy. Like, now, come on,
Andy, is this all in the same day, or do you frequent this section of
this
beach?
Is over a course of 6 months. When I went back, I go early in the morning or whatever, because it was a great place to throw the ball and have my dog fetch it in the rapids slow enough. But I've been there about 5 times, but 2 or 3 times when there was, hot action going on. Never women either. And then now it's all fenced off. Like the city said, no more butt fucking on public lands. And they put up fences that I think
that's what I wish they'd do at the river down here. Yeah.
A lot of butt fucking going on at the river, Chad?
That's what I'm telling you on Craigslist. I've been looking for a dog. If you look in community, everybody wants to butt fuck at the river. I didn't explain it very well. I'm drunk.
I just got lost. I forgot that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
Somehow I didn't make the connection between pit bulls and anal. But
I'm drunk and I rushed through it. I realized it afterwards. But I was browsing Craigslist looking for a dog is how I came across all of these ads for gentlemanly companionship down at the river. And I'm like, fuck, I hang out at that river. I didn't know this was the thing.
I'm just trying to take my chickens down to the river and set them free.
If those dudes that are up behind Chaille would have invited me to watch, I would have probably hung out, watched that, for the same reason I like the steeplechase. This is like
hoping for a fall.
Yeah, these are the fellas that frequented the glass bar. They're nobody's ideal of homosexuals. They're like guys who like fucking prison parolees or whatever. They're like all fucking, worst case scenario of walking down a trail and seeing 2 men fucking. Like,
it's almost always the case that whenever you see nakedness on a beach, it's never someone you're hoping to see naked. Mm-hmm. It's just a general rule.
Yeah.
I think people who have the discipline to keep themselves in shape generally have jobs in motel rooms and things like that. That's what is.
Yeah.
If you're just a fat fuck with 3 teeth, you're just fucking to the bridge.
And the other side of it is, if you're the kind of person who's just gonna be like, hey, I'm okay being naked at the beach, you're also probably like super chill and you don't like work that hard at shit. You're like, I'm good.
That's what part of the problem is. It was like homeless camping, and it's like they're fucking too. Just because you don't have a home doesn't mean you don't have an anus.
I think it was Mark Twain who first said that.
It's one of the classics.
Nobody foreclosed on their ball sack.
No.
So it felt like a lot of unemployed, and then so before they fenced it off and stuff, and I would notice the cars that they would park at a rub and tug shack, adult bookstore. So there'd be like 30 cars parked there, meaning that the gay bar or the nude beach is going. But you know, the fucking dented up cars and fucking abandoned Winnebagos and shit. You're going there for sex. You're not going there to meet a suitor. You know, somebody
So
to help you out.
Andy, I just found Glass Bar Beach
Uh-huh.
listed in Oregon. It is a recognized nude beach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think you say that in the beginning. We thought you just
Well-
went to go throw a ball for the dog, and
Well,
you're like,
that's
"Oh,
the
what's
first-
going on here?"
When
You
I
must have
first
passed
found
the
it,
sign that said nude beach to park.
no, because it wasn't public knowledge unless you Googled it, I guess. But I would drive by it and I would see dudes walking with flip flops and towels, and occasionally, you know. So I was like, I knew there was something down there, but I didn't. I didn't know it was predominantly fucking fellas out there humping, and I didn't know about the nude beach.
I mean, it was. He hoped that's what it was,
Yeah.
but he didn't know for sure.
Just looking to smoke some meth with some unemployed people. I didn't know that. But yeah, that's what yeah, I would still hang out there if there were fellas like that everywhere. But no, it was I mean, it was like they didn't even like, you know, it's like, are you guys even attracted to each other? Like this guy's fucking looks like Mr. Clean, and he's got some fat fucking trucker down there all humped over and squealing. Yeah. So I don't party there.
Not after that first 6 months.
Yeah.
Not
I've
much
seen enough.
anymore.
No, I haven't been there. I haven't been
Nothing
there in
on
a
TV anymore.
yeah, it was like last week. I think it was rolling out there. No, my dog doesn't play much anymore, neither. So if I drag the old dog out there, I'm not gonna be able to say, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, that's it.
Pretty
Little,
cheap.
little
Teach your
swimming
dog
hole
to-
over there.
Teach your dog to fetch a dildo. Throwing a dildo on the beach, trying to meet people.
Good icebreaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys lose something?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I did take my pants off while I was out there throwing the ball.
Want to
for the
hang
dog.
out with me and my dog?
Yeah, I didn't
You took
want
your
to.
Wait a
pants
minute.
off.
God
Wait,
damn it,
what?
Andy, you buried the
So-
lead.
yeah, sorry, I talked over it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I
Took
wasn't
your
like
pants off, so you're
I wasn't seeing anyone, but I was there. So, you know, it's like it's a nude beach, so why not go
When in
fucking
Rome?
naked? Yeah, and yeah, that's when the guy popped out from. So I was up and across over behind Chaille. The guy come out of that tree line, and I was just standing there with my, you know, dick out, enjoying the sun.
Tossing the ball.
Yeah, a couple of dudes on the other side of the river pining for, you know, I mean, I'm a glass bar 7. Like they were like, who's the fucking new kid? Who's the new kid? I was like, it's surprising how many elderly men will go and butt fuck in those places. Like you think it's the kids, but no, it's fucking 60 plussers.
I just love that you told us a story about a guy coming out of the woods and asking if you wanted your dick sucked.
Well, that's what
and
he was
you
smiling
didn't tell
at.
us when you told us that part of the story that your pants were off and your dick was out.
Yeah.
He looked at
I
me
didn't
and
know it.
he looked at me in the eyes, and then he looked at my penis, and then he smiled, and then that's when he offered the blowjob. It's like, no, thank you. And I'll bet he was like, no, this guy's semi.
That's how
So
transactions take
he probably
place.
thought he had a, you know, or it wasn't a sale, you know, it's more of a comp. He thought he like, oh yeah, this guy will take a free drink ticket.
Oh my!
I'm here on a
God.
Groupon.
My mouth said no, but my body was like, what? What? No. Hey. He's offering it for you mean for nothing? Even if I would have wanted it, I don't know how it would have. The dog, you know, it would have traumatized the dog.
I'm here with someone.
Yeah. Let me go ditch the dog. I'll be back.
You just got to throw the ball really far.
Yeah. Hey, dude,
I
you got
also-
a good arm on you.
Yeah.
Now,
Isn't your dog drowning? That's okay.
so once again, Andy, was because your first trip there, you didn't know what it was. You said.
Yeah,
Did you take your pants off the first trip? Like as soon as you realized it, you're like, "Oh fuck, sorry."
Well, it was a
Good
new
moment
dress.
dress.
When I walked past it, so there was a it was like homeless, and then a couple of skanky hippie women, all fucking bellies splayed out and everything. But then as I walked around in the trails, I saw it was like a fucking, you know, it was the hippie broads weren't over there fucking giving old fashions to the fellas. It was just dudes. And then when I was trying to get out of there, a dude followed me. And I didn't, it's like there's a maze, and I couldn't figure out how to get, I didn't want to go back that way. And there was other trails. I knew I could get out a other way, but it like trails. And then this dude was following me, and I'd stop and he'd stop. And like, you know, so I was like I said, I'm a glass bar 7, and there were a lot of 5s and 6s there. So, you know, I was a hot lead, and when I went back a few times to take pictures, and
Pictures.
of his boner.
I've been trying to get a good picture of a blue heron most of my life.
Oh,
Is that what they
God.
call that?
Listen, Andy, you can be honest with us, brother. You don't know.
Purple-headed herons is the rarest.
Hey, Andy, when you said the hippie girls weren't giving out old fashions, did you mean like they weren't girls like offering heterosexual sex, or they were making drinks on the beach?
I would think that you know, knowing what I know about that place, probably it wouldn't be safe. Well, I don't know, but I mean, it just seemed like it was like a Craigslist area, hookup area, and the only time I've seen women there, they're at the very opening part of it. They don't, you know, maybe they go into the scrub and, you know, get some fucking pounding too. I don't, you know, I'm sure.
It definitely sounds like Bill's place on the beach.
On the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
on the water.
I was like, you know, I was so happy that I chose the right path, because that dude it's like, what's this dude's intent? You know, I was like, I'd turn around and look at him, and then he'd just like disappear off, like I'm over here, like, and then I would start looking again, and he was back on me. So it's like,
like if that happened to me, Andy, I'd be like, I could fucking totally stab this guy before he can stab me. Were you walking through going like, I could totally get this guy and suck his dick before he sucks my
well,
dick?
I'm pretty sure he wasn't carrying a knife. You know, he was walking, and I could tell the thrill of the hunt was exciting to him, but me was like, all right, I do not want to fucking, you know, I don't want to hurt this fella's feelings, but I'm not getting raped out here at the glass bar. But when I went back there, because when I was over there before I got offered the oral, there was a blue heron, and when I was in 8th grade with Mr. Knose, we called him. He had a sharp nose, and his name was Kneen, and he was a pervert. But he was my science teacher, and my science project or whatever, my mom got involved with it, and it was photographing the great blue heron, which is like the most sketchy fucking bird. You can't get anywhere close to him for a good picture. And my mom was working testing dairy milk, or like collecting. It's like my mom was like Bukowski, only she didn't drink, but she'd get fired from gigs for being a fuck up or ineffective. And for a while, she would go to dairies at 4 or 5 in the morning and pick up samples. And so I went out with her to these dairies, and the goal is to take pictures of the blue heron. Yeah. And I stood in a swamp with my mother for hours waiting to get a picture of a blue heron, probably her blonde wig, or we were too loud or whatever. We never got that picture. So, and then I went out to the glass bar to take a picture of the blue heron. So what happened in the science project is we never got a picture. We got skunked. Mm-hmm. And then we just,
didn't you fake it?
No, well, we put up a picture, but it was like we didn't get it. So it became the great blue. It was not photographing the great blue heron. It was the great blue heron. And then we got a cookie tray and put a swamp water in it. It was like a lipped one. And we made a habitat of the great blue heron out of swamp water. But I never got that picture. So when I first found the glass bar, and in spite of the a rampant homosexual activity going on out there. I went early in the morning and tried to get a picture of the heron and failed again. And then like a year later,
Early bird gets the worm.
yeah,
That's what the other guy thought too.
I looked a little eager being there before anyone got there. You know, it's just the fucking big fatties that camp there going, wow, this guy wants to suck some cock. No. But I finally got that picture of a blue heron. I forget where. Oh, it's like on the coast, and I got crept up on it. I mean, I tried it 100 times to get a good picture of a blue heron, and I got one that was pretty good. And I took it to my mom, and she had dementia at the time. And I was like, Mom, remember that? And she didn't. And I go, well, I got it. And it meant nothing to, but I was like, before she died, I showed her that I got that picture that I tried in 8th grade. And I nearly showed
it to Mr. Canoes.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Canoes, he gave me a C on that. He's a real douchebag. But one time I wiped glue all over his leather jacket. I mean, I had a hunch that he was a creep, but he was like inappropriate with the females. But I wiped all this glue, and I think he knew I did it. And then in the same science fair, this guy I didn't care for. He had something with like cars, like stupid, right? Like, oh, you got Hot Wheels? That's your science fair project? And I took those and I put them into the sink drain and clogged up the fucking sink drain. And he was investigating and he pulled the pipe and there were fucking Hot Wheels in the drain. And I probably brought that. There were several teachers that didn't like me, and I kind of trace it back to things I did that bothered them. But he knew he was suspicious of me and the glue. I just put a big K on the back of his jacket, like Canoes or whatever, and probably told too many people. Because when you do something like that, you'll get ratted out, especially in middle school. So but he was later fired for being a creeper. So I was like, really? Like Minority Report. I know this guy is a creeper, so I'm going to fuck up his leather jacket.
If you learned anything about your grade school experience, is that every one of your teachers was a raging pedophile.
Most of
the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Somebody should inspect this town now and see if it has changed.
Well,
this could be something that has just been going on forever.
There's this other teacher, Mr. McAtee, and he was a fucking cunt. And took algebra, and he gave me an F, and I got an F all the way through. And he was a fucking dick about it. It's like, so I get an F, and then it's like, who's responsible? I didn't understand algebra, so I never get any better. He was a failure as a teacher. He's deserved the F. I maybe deserved 2 of the Fs or whatever, but the fact that I didn't get a D in there, it meant he didn't, and I still don't understand algebra, and who gives a fuck? It's stupid. X equals what? X equals X, motherfucker. It don't equal anything else. You have to kind of have
where
absolutely. And in the 10th grade, I went to pre-algebra, and I finally started to understand it for part of the first semester. I felt really confident about it, and I was happy. I was like, I think this kind of makes sense. I got called down to the fucking counselor's office, and they're like, yeah, your teacher says you ask too many questions and you're slowing down the class. We're going to put you in consumer math.
Oh, man,
Fuck algebra. I don't give a fuck. I'll never learn it then. Fuck you.
I remember
I was learning.
Angry
I was happy about it.
That's bullshit, Chad. That's...
Ask too many questions. I got kicked out of algebra. No shit.
I pretty much changed electives a lot. Like I even like before college, you can withdraw from a class when it's not going well, and I just kind of get bounced around. I got kicked off the annual staff, and that's when I first got involved in track and field. Is I got to be the photographer for track meets, And I'd come back with the fucking bunch of, the hot chicks going over the hurdles. And, up underneath. I find angles to get up to,
You're shooting like the
Andy's-
porn angle of the butthole shot.
And a lot
Andy's
of my
the
photos
YouTube
ended up
fucking
at the-
channel that it keeps getting recommended to me.
Right. Yeah. A lot of my photos ended up in the yearbook. A girl splayed out on the hurdles, and yeah. But I got kicked out of that one. And this dude was another fucking creep. DeBoard, he dragged me down. He's like, I was down in the girls' gym when I was, whatever. I was just hanging out shooting baskets during class, and he comes down and he marches me up to the vice principal's office, and then he just like, Mr. Anders feels like he can just do what he wants. I don't want him on the annual staff anymore. It was after track season, so I was expendable. No more girls short sports or what. I almost said shorts, but yeah, he humiliated me, and then I ended up in home ec, which was another. They didn't want me there. I was like bounced around, man. When you're, I was just grappling for the final credits. By the time I was a senior, I was like I was tied with my friend Mitch for 97th in the class of 100, and I think some of those were retarded. So I don't know how they did their but, it was like 100, and I was tied for 97th, and then I think I pulled ahead to like 96, and Mitch went to 98. But that's not good grade for Coke Heel. You just show up, and you should be an average student just by being there.
I kind of wish I knew what percentile I was, except for I went to alternative school my junior year, where I just went to school in the evening on the computer, and you would do tests over and over. And once you scored low enough on a test, it would take you into lessons for however long it would take you. And then you'd have to do tests. But if you could just kick ass at tests, which I was pretty good at in some subjects, I could get, a couple of credits in a couple of weeks versus, years and months. So it was a good deal. And then everybody would get stoned in the parking lot, and we would get to talking. And I realized my friend was struggling with math, or she was struggling with English, and I was struggling with math. I'm like, I'll never get through this math. She's like, I'm breezing through math. I'm getting credits like a motherfucker. And I'm like, I'm breezing through English, getting credit. They're like, oh, you just got your chocolate in my peanut butter. So I taught everybody else how to exchange passwords, and then we could all graduate early because I passed all her English classes and she passed all my math. I'm math retarded to this day because of my ability to cheat.
I started in grade school. I discovered that the teacher's book had red light writing in it that was the answers to stuff. So I was cheating in grade school. Would get the teacher's edition, fill out my workbook, and then one time this fucking German woman.
Teacher's edition? Did you like sneak into the classroom and steal it?
Yeah, take it.
Doggy door.
Yeah, take it and go fill out. They give you a workbook, and I just get it when there was an opening, and then I would fill out my workbook, which was the whole year's worth of shit. So, I would take it and bring it back. I don't even know. I mean, I was like self-taught a lot of this stuff. I knew to have a cheat sheet under, and I remember the teacher caught me. I was looking down, and then she pulled the back of my head. She pulled me by my hair, yanked my head up, and it's like, okay, you caught me, but there's no reason to humiliate me in front of the class. But I probably stunted my education as figuring out the teacher's edition thing, because I was one of the best students in like through third grade, and then I couldn't get the teacher's editions anymore because my teacher was a Mr. Havers was raping the class, and he kept his book tucked in, not his dick. That fell out.
Man, I can't believe you were cheating in the third grade.
Mm-hmm.
That's ballsy, man.
I didn't know it was wrong. I mean, I guess I did because I hit.
You had to have.
Yeah,
you're just being secretive about it.
Around.
I remember getting compliments on, wow, you're doing so good. Your book, it's like my workbook's weeks ahead of everybody else.
The teachers totally off their game because they're like, well, this kid's a genius. He's picking up on everything without even.
That does
Yeah.
explain some of his behavior problems. Perhaps he's just bored with the material
bored.
that we're
Right.
offering.
We need to live in an advanced place.
Yeah.
Yeah, in high school, I can't believe. I mean, there was a group, and I never ended up in the group that was just. I'd call them. I mean, semi-retardeds, but they would share space with the retarded kids. What's the proper term?
I love it.
Physically
It's number
challenged.
97 in the class is calling them semi-retarded.
Well,
Yeah.
And by the way, there were at least 5 kids who were classified as retarded in your school.
Yeah,
So-
right. I don't know how. I don't know
Place
why I
higher
didn't get
above
assigned
your
to the dummy room, but I wasn't. I don't know. I should have. I should have been in the dummy room with a lot of the football guys or whatever who were in there. But I was kind of skated between the semi-retardeds and the academics or whatever. I was never invited. I didn't wear anything extra at graduation. I didn't have any special ropes or anything. None of that honor roll shit.
Yeah.
Never got accepted. Well, no, I did. I was in the Key Club, Kiwanis Key Club, but I was only there for the tree scam, selling Christmas trees and pocketing the money.
Oh yeah.
That was, and the guy who was our advisor in that was a rapist. The whole town had there's something in the drinking water, I think, not fluoride, definitely not fluoride.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a problem in that town.
But I think probably a lot of that shit is all stems from Bill's place. It's like having a fucking closeted gay bar in your town.
Well, I think lumberjacks are just, you go out in the woods and you're just out in the woods for your whole life. You just
I'm a
things a little
lumberjack and
differently.
I'm okay.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the trees weren't the only
That's
thing
funny.
on down low.
Well, I for one am happy that they went from Bill's place to an open gate beach. That's nice.
Well,
that
no,
they don't have
different
Yeah.
town.
Absolutely. I
I
don't think
don't
there's anything wrong with guys in the butt fucking on the beach as long as they're out by themselves, not bothering anybody.
Listen, I think
Yeah.
they should put up better signs. I
That's
will
true.
say that.
The thing is that Andy was the
Butt
only one
fuckers
bothering.
ahead.
Yeah,
Andy was the only one bothering people.
Well, that's because
Yeah.
I get lost. I was like trying to find my way out, but it's like
He's-
I was starting to think of crop circles, but that's what the areas were like, little crop circles with dudes huffing it out or whatever. It's like Tom
Look,
Cruise
gays
kind of-
and they're nesting.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, cock circles. They're just
The
little
signs should be
matted
do not
areas.
disturb.
Well, they should like maybe put a red balloon at the entrance of where they don't want you to come up or something. That's an international sign of don't disturb. But it's a shame. And I wonder what happened to them fellas. Like Craigslist went away, and they don't have. Well, now they're
Craigslist went away.
Well, I mean the casual hookup
Backpage.
part of it.
That
Yeah,
Backpage went away, and then the casual hookups went away. But now I did notice that they have, they'll have veil. Like I miss my catcher. I'm looking to pitch 2 to 3 times a week. And
Life finds a way.
It's loaded with them.
Uh-huh.
Community
Yeah, I wonder
section
where
of
they went,
Craigslist.
you
This
know?
is where you find pit bulls.
What happened to the
I
glory
see.
hole guy when the COVID hit? Did he quit? Did he reevaluate his life? Like maybe I don't need to be sucking strangers' cocks anymore. It's just good we're getting back to the world. Everybody getting back to what they do. But now they're like, hey, are you vaxxed? I'll put my asshole up against this hole, but you got to be vaxxed, bro.
Show me your COVID card or a Marilyn Manson laminate.
Yeah, you got a Manson laminate.
If there's one assumption that I'll make about those folks is that they don't hold themselves in a high regard. They don't have that much self-worth to themselves that they're worried about those
Right,
things.
yeah.
They're fine.
Can you imagine being so scared of coming out as a gay person that you go suck an anonymous cock in a toilet? Like, that takes way more.
Oh, I never thought about it as that, I guess. That makes me feel kind of like a dick for the way I did think about it. I never thought about it being scared to come out, so you're sucking it secretly. I just thought you like to suck so much dick that you'll are willing to go into the bathroom and suck it. I never thought about that point. That now you just depressed me about my Craigslist ads that I thought were I had envy of.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole different level of it, because that the risk factor of that, like, man, you don't even know, you can't even do a fucking tracing. It's like, oh, I might have given AIDS to well, there's
contact tracing.
Yeah, probably,
I
got AIDS.
would
I
have
may have
to
given
say,
it to 15 or 20 people, but I have no idea who they were.
What what do you think though? What's the more brave side of the glory hole? Just sucking an anonymous dick that pops through there, or just sticking your dick into a hole and not knowing what's
on the
going
other
to
side.
need on the other side?
I think it takes
as a heterosexual, I have to say it's sticking your dick. I mean, well, wait, hold on. I guess the more brave would be sucking it as a heterosexual perspective. That's fucking incredibly brave to just suck a dick. But
you don't know, it could be somebody with fucking jagged teeth.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's
definitely.
Listen, you got to be desperate for those things. I feel bad for those. I knew a guy. I was just talking the other day with Jenny. I knew a guy where he was so obsessed with sex. There's so many guys that that's what they're obsessed with, and that's how they're built. But they're also built that they have no game to be able to access it whatsoever. And I could not imagine the frustration you would feel to be that obsessed with it and not be able to talk anybody into doing it with you. So you would be I guess you would
Sounds
be
like
desperation.
We better bring a piece of plywood to the next party.
Listen, I've always been ugly, but I've always been charming. So I've never, it's a perspective that is foreign to me, but it's the guy that I know, he would get led around by his dick a lot. He would get manipulated because he would know, not because he was stupid, but because he would be like, all right, whatever. If I do this, I'll get some pussy.
His dick was stupid.
Yeah, you don't have to be too charming to advertise yourself as a greedy, greedy ass. You can be a surly jerk off and still get what you want.
Yeah, like he'd be like, it stunk so bad, and I'm like, did you leave? He's like, no, I just kept doing it, and I'm like, yeah, it's a disconnect there. I don't understand your perspective whatsoever. So I
had a tiger who can finish like that. Jesus.
Listen.
God. How could beating off not be better than that experience? There's no chance.
Yeah,
wouldn't be.
I've said this before. We're talking about like Deadwood. When you watch Deadwood, when the whorehouses, and I'd be at my gold mine fucking sheep before I'd be in the hooker camp. That's so gross.
Sheep are relatively clean.
I remember
animals.
the first time.
It's your sheep. It's not like it's running around in the neighborhood for everybody to fuck. You keep your sheep clean.
Yeah, that is a founding principle of the Old West. You fuck your own sheep.
Yeah,
I think that there's no glory on either side.
I think.
There's no glory.
Now that I think about it, Erickson's right. I should probably just jerk off. Fuck, never mind. I wouldn't fuck a sheep. I would just jerk off.
Hallelujah Corner. I don't know. There's got to be a more apt title, but I remember the first one I saw was like on an I-5. And I was like, wow, why is there, it's like, look through the hole. Like, that's weird. And then years later,
Andy, you talking about a glory hole?
Yeah,
like public glory holes that, like somebody goes into a toilet with a drill and fucking, and like, I couldn't figure out what the hell, it's like, it's big, or it's smaller than a fist hole. And then I found out about that.
I wonder what this is for.
One of the teachers in Coquille got arrested for soliciting sex in a men's bathroom at a rest area, and then I heard that's when I heard the story of what a glory hole, and then I was like, okay, that's what I.
One teacher in Coquille who's not having sex with minors gets arrested.
Yeah.
For not having sex with minors.
Yeah,
he might have been.
Well, he probably had.
You're right. He might have
probably
been,
had a lot of urges to screw his.
You don't know who's on the other side of that.
That's true. I guess
right,
that's true.
Pretending it was one of his kids or whatever. Yeah, he was also the first swinger I'd heard about. Like I didn't it's his swinger, huh? Yeah, I like the swing set too, but I don't
I have
identify.
never in my entire life seen a glory hole,
Me
Andy.
neither.
I know
Really?
it from popular reference, and I have never, even in we've done cocaine in the stalls of gay bars together before, and I've never seen a gay bar, I'll
I've
say,
never seen a
but
work
I've never
glory
seen
hole.
a glory hole.
Yeah, if there
I'm-
was gonna be one, it would have been at that bar.
Yeah.
Like all the
Yeah.
stalls would have,
I'm-
you know, maybe bigger holes, smaller holes.
Well, but at a gay
I
bar,
might
they
have
don't
tried
need
it
a,
out at that bar. That bar was so comfortable. I liked it. It was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't need a glory hole at a gay bar. You just
I'm
need
not
a wider
saying which
stall.
side.
At a gay bar, they just have wider stalls because they don't have to anonymously suck each other off. They can
Well,
dance
yeah,
together
but
and party.
wouldn't it be that for some of the people using the glory hole is the what is attractive to them, like the anonymity of it turns them on.
You think they already
risk
know
of
the
not
other
knowing
guy?
what, just that's
like
gotta.
It's like jacking yourself off when one of your arms is asleep or
I-
something. Like, oh,
Well,
I don't know who this is.
I think once again I've had an epiphany on this podcast. I think Erickson is right. I think if you go to the gay bar, you already know who's in it. It's
Yeah.
Jim. Jim
Yeah.
Jim hangs
Yeah.
out in the fucking glory hole stall, and he'll
I mean,
suck your dick if you put it
Yeah.
through the hole.
Hey, he walked in here with me. He just went on to the other side.
dude, I know it's you. I see your shoes.
And then
Right.
there's always
Come on, dude.
and
There's
then
only 4 of us in here. For
Yeah.
fuck's
Who's
sake.
putting their dick in that hole?
yeah,
Oh,
it's a lot of trial and error.
it's
Yeah,
I mean,
so
that's-
small.
But I mean,
Usually-
look at how disgusting that is. And what are these hesitation holes on the side, or is it, or is the stall?
Hesitation,
Is the hole-
defense
did the-
wounds.
Did the stall get herpes? Look at it.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
It's-
there's usually
it's-
somebody will
hey, the
write
stall-
insert dick here, like you don't know if you don't know what that is, and it says insert dick here and an arrow. Like, okay, now I'm getting the hang of this thing.
And
I
you
think
just said
it's, you're
usually.
making the
There's
glory hole, it's like hanging a
usually.
picture.
Well, they were all over. I don't know, like what if it was an Oregon thing, but once I learned what it was. It's like you learn a new word and then you hear it all the time. Well, when I
Yeah.
heard glory hole, then I would notice them at places,
Yeah.
or ones that were like willy nilly, where it was like not completed and they maybe had to take off before they could get it done.
Hey,
I'll be
just to point out, guys, look
Uh,
in the corner by the shitter. Someone put their drink there. There's a bottle of water.
Well, you got to
Well,
gargle. That's
that's
the receiving side.
that stays there to wash the dick off. You want to be, safe.
You don't want to be gross.
I feel bad for all the gay people now where I grew up because I never thought about this stuff. We all would go into one bathroom that had like a 9-foot trough filled with ice, and then you would just pee next to like 40 other dudes on this trough full of
That's
ice. There was
Yeah.
there was no
Now imagine
stalls
if there was a face
for
in
them
that
to get
trough.
their dick sucked.
A dude laying down under the ice.
Yeah.
An ice.
This guy over here.
That's
Well, there have
That's
been
a
cases.
thing.
Yeah,
That's
there
a
have been
fetish.
there have been people who've been
Oh,
found out
yes,
that,
you're gonna
like,
make me throw up.
like they climb into porta toilets and there's down.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's a bad childhood. Something
Wasn't
happened
there
in that-
also a famous case, or did I just see this as like an X-Files or something? But there was a guy who was like collecting all the pee from the urinals. Right?
he had-
You know what I'm talking about? Like he had set
that
up
rings a bell.
like a thing that he would go in and take the pipes out, and he would
Was
put his
that
own little
Black
container
Mirror
in. and he
or
would-
Cold Case Files? See, they're all
something-
mixed
I
up.
can't
I don't
remember
know
if that
which
was a
one it
real.
was.
I know I saw it on TV,
Yes,
but I
I've
don't
seen
now
it.
remember if it was a Law and Order SVU or a fucking
or a bad
know,
dream.
or a-
It's just
Battery.
a happy dream. Who knows? I don't want to judge your subconscious.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the guy was like drinking it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
No, I remember that. I think it was a news story. It was a story.
yeah, it's like the human toilet that I met That dude, he just wanted somebody to piss in his face in public. Like, seemed like a perfect friendship. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be? But he wanted it. The thing was, he wanted, like, part of it was he was going to wear a crisp new shirt. Like, he wanted it to be real humiliating. Like, a bad job interview. Not only are you not getting the job, you're going to.
Yeah, he's probably like an air traffic controller or something.
Right. I wonder.
Stressed out.
I do wonder what I would like to, he would be somebody I would be interested to know more about. Like, how do you get to a point in your life where you just want strangers to piss in your face in front of other people who are horrified? Like, oh no, what's going on here? And if you want to hear how that turns out, you have to wait and get my comedy special. The human toilet was I met him and it's all in the special.
Don't tell it at all.
Yeah,
you told enough.
Why would what would happen to a person where they're like
information right there?
Yes.
Yeah, you like swilling urine? Well, okay, all right, but why a crisp new shirt? That just seems wasteful.
I like the fact that I thought I was telling Andy something about Craigslist ads, and he already knew about this shit way before me.
Well, but when it was spelled out, now that I know there's a code, and not like a code of ethics, but a code where they're like, "Hey, do you got a poodle? You want to walk your poodle in my my pen?" Or whatever. It makes sense.
You put your poodle in my kennel?
Yeah.
My poodle misses its catcher.
It's a cross trainer or whatever. Bring your cross. It's like there was I used to enjoy that. It was like kind of the Penthouse Forum is reading the Craigslist thing, and that's where I run across the human toilet was one of the more unusual one, but like dudes in wigs or what, it's like like I'll leave the door open or like I was like just throw on a wig and some lipstick and leave your back door open, and that's probably better than the straight up toilet sex. I would think, at least somebody's putting a wig on and
doing some work.
Yeah.
I once worked at a group home as a group manager for retarded people, and one of the program things that we had set for this guy who would get violent was to take him for walks. So one day I was like, we're gonna go out here to walk in this area down by the river, and we went down. It was
that's how it starts.
He ended up having a heat stroke in the middle of this walk, and I had to give him CPR, and it was a horrible thing, and he died. But that wasn't the point of the story. Was
you burying the lead and
in the middle of it, in the middle of this, there was a guy pulled up in the parking lot, and I'm like, I need you to help me with CPR and call 911 and help me out here. I'm trying to keep this guy alive. And the guy just got scared as fuck and got back in his car and just left and hauled ass. And I always was like, well, people are assholes, I guess people don't want to help other people. They don't want to get involved. And then later I saw on Craigslist, this guy showed up to get his dick sucked and was like, I'm not getting involved in doing CPR. Well, yeah, I'm trying to be out here anonymously, you motherfucker. So I understood what happened after that.
So
and
did they ask you not to come back as a counselor?
They should have given
you into the custodial staff.
They should have given me some sort of a bonus because when I was deposed as a witness for negligent homicide in this thing. They tried to lay all kinds of legal charges on me. I was so crisp and spot on and answered every question with irrefutable, the truth. It was easy. It was easy to do
because and the other guy sucked him off, he would still be around.
Well, they ended up having to drop the litigation on the thing. So I would hope that they would have given me a bonus, but they did not.
So I don't know if you remember the particulars, but why would they have considered someone having heat stroke a negligent homicide other than it was too hot to take him outside and he was under your care?
Yeah,
He was prior heat stroke before that.
You got to read the chart.
So it's yeah.
This guy needs a long walk.
But it wasn't that hot.
Maybe.
And we didn't walk that far. It was it was
Maybe that's why he was getting mad all the time. You guys were taking him for walks outside in the sun, and he's like, "God damn it! I've already had a heat stroke once, you motherfuckers."
You should have thrown a ball for him in the river.
This poor bastard. Whenever I first met him, I tried to be like overly nice because there's like 4 different dudes. One of them's completely retarded, and one of them is middle, and then this guy is like schizophrenic and has
3 bears.
Stuff. Yeah. Yes, it was definitely, and so you had to approach it. And so when I first talked to
they're all eating the porridge.
He told me I was cheesy. He was like, "You're cheesy," and I was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And I realized I was like, "Oh, I was talking to him the same way I talked to the retarded guy."
Yeah.
So I apologize.
Yeah, well, this is like a big. We've dropped the R word a bunch here, and
I haven't.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but I grew up. That's just how we talked back then. They didn't say one of the special needs kids took off from the playground. Go round him up. They're like, even the teacher said one of the retarded kids took off. Round him up. And I'm like, can I get a posse?
This is where I stand with my redneck origins. Is retarded is the opposite of advanced. Look it up, motherfuckers. Yeah. I don't mean any disrespect or anything derogatory. Yeah. I mean slower than the norm and not as fast as the fast.
And when there's a fire and a plane goes over, they don't drop flame special needs. They drop flame retardant, and that stops the flame.
Look at your pajamas. Are they fire resistant or fire retardant?
Yeah. How about
keep
that?
Going, guys. Keep going.
Yeah.
Notice that Chaille and I are not stopping this at all.
I love that I declare an opinion on a podcast where I've already revealed myself as completely stupid at least 4 times.
I think we found our promo footage.
Look, you're talking to our base, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, half of them are. I'm up with downs, man. It's fun. When I rode around with my brother, and it's like that book, Black Like Me. I became one of the gang, and if somebody would have said retarded to me, I would have just smiled at him and kept shuffling around because my brother could have lost his job. So
you're not.
I've been one.
You're like the white kid who grows up in the all-black neighborhood using the N-word.
The FIBA.
You can use the R word because
because I've been one.
Pretty close.
I worked with them. I wasn't their supervisor. I was one of them.
Yeah. You certainly finished your high school race with them.
Right. Well, and I think I talked about that last week with the Special Olympics, how I was a hugger for the Special Olympics, but I didn't hug anyone, but I was there to hug. Just, I didn't want to, like by the time it got to me, I would have had to hug like the last place finishers or whatever. So it just kind of like wave. Oh, I gotta go over here. And now I would give them a big hug and say, "Great job, you got 15th place."
No,
top 15. I'll get medals.
Hugging a little special needs kid and a javelin would hit you in the back.
Right. Well, there was a fucking when I was out there, it wasn't in the Special Olympics, but a javelin almost hit our quarterback, Mike Reiner, and he was like an asshole, at least to me. He fucking jammed my face on a water faucet when I was drinking.
And to the javelin thrower.
And I saw a javelin coming his way, and I didn't say anything, and it almost hit him. It got him in the foot, and he's kind of, pissed off about it. Like, well, fuck you,
Well,
man.
what was he doing out there in the javelin field?
I don't
Was it
know.
during track
Me and him,
practice?
yeah, it was a track meet, and me and him were marking it, or whatever. And I was not. I don't like being out and doing that sort of shit because I really don't pay attention very much.
Right.
And,
Then you shouldn't volunteer for the job to begin with.
yeah, I don't know how that worked. It was, I think they just used people who weren't involved in different events, and then I was out there with Mike
They
Reiner.
see you standing around with your laminate, and they're like, "Well, this guy looks like he knows what he's
Yeah,
doing."
I mean, how I got the
Hey,
Special
coach, you want to
Olympics.
give us a hand?
How I got the Special Olympics gig, I was just out smoking weed, and then they assumed I was a volunteer. Come on in, and like, okay, I wasn't supposed to be out there, so then I just followed along, and then next thing I know, I'm a hugger.
A hugger. It's funny, Andy. When I was in the Army, I was like a cheerer. I got recruited, you could volunteer, and you can go over and cheer on the sidelines for the retarded kids.
Yeah, you could have been a hugger.
Yeah, they didn't want me. They didn't offer me that option. They only offered me.
They didn't want you too close to the kids.
Yeah. Now I would like.
He's
volunteer.
good up in the stands clapping.
Yeah, maybe you weren't smoking enough pot. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's loud, but we don't want him close to the retarded kids.
If they would have offered me to hug like at the NC2A women's meet, yeah, I'll be a hugger. Hey, you got last place in the steeplechase. Come here. Oh, your hair smells great.
Oh boy. Oh, your underwear's in your ass. Let me help you with that. Let me get your underwear out of your ass.
Yeah, they don't need huggers because they don't need it. They don't need sympathy at the end of a race. That's what's wrong with the Special Olympics is they make everybody feel like a winner so they don't get good times. Withhold the hugs. That's what I did. I withheld the hugs from the guys who didn't finish well, hoping that they would turn it around.
Hugs are for winners?
Yeah, hugs.
Or at least the top 10 percentile.
Top 10, yeah.
I had the opposite experience. I ended up getting to hang around backstage, if you will, for a lot of the stuff and ended up repeatedly and against my will hugging several of the retarded kids while I was just a cheer. I didn't even want to hug them, but they would hug you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about the group that we had. I don't think I would want to hug any of them.
It just seems like you were the wrong person to pick for a hugger.
Well, yeah.
You even get near the winner?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
but see, you also don't like to be touched.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
that's a double
like
win right there.
Sam Stidham would fly off the handle and start swinging wild and shit. You try hugging that guy, and then there was Troy, who one time got locked into a toilet and ripped the stall off the door. So you gonna hug that guy? Like, superhuman. Like that'd be way more believable for me than a zombie running fast. Is to have a super because this guy, the superhuman strength. That was one of the three R's that Chad didn't have in his, the monster ones. Like fucking, I mean, fully athletic and with a fucking adult body. I mean, a lot of them too. They didn't graduate on time, so they would keep them there till they were 24. In their 20s. But it was like that's what that blew my mind at graduation. Is like I didn't know I was in the same class as these guys. And now I would have now that I'm in light, I would have wanted to walk with one of them instead of I walked with a girl. I have way more in common with these dudes than Hey, you were 98. I was 97, bro. But it only took me 4 years. You've been here for 8.
What'd you get in algebra?
X equals Z. Want to trade passwords?
I probably told you this as one time, and I mean I feel bad about this, but we did prank phone calls and we called up Sam. It was Sam and Bill, and they were buddies. And Sam Stidham and Bill Radford, and we would do. I was pretty good at impressions, and they're offensive now. But Sam would get mad and have a stutter, and Bill was like, "All right, partner." Like he'd always say partner, and he was a big lunk, a bigger kid. And we the prank, it was like not thought out or anything, but it was like, well, you want to stay at my place? so Sam invited Bill to stay at his place, and Bill invited Sam, and they both had sleeping bags at school. That was kind of hilarious, but I'm sure they worked it out or
That is
whatever
the
because they had.
meanest thing
I
to
know
do.
it was the fucking shitty thing to do, and I don't think I could come up with the idea, but I did the impersonation. So I basically baited both of them.
Ocean's 11.
Who knows what bus they got on? I'm sure it was the
17.
shorter one, but they lived in the opposite direction, so something had. I'm sure they stayed somewhere. And I'm sorry. I worked with Sam years later at the on the job, and
so one of them made it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, one of them made it home. But Bill was like, he was a real. I would like to know what Bill Radford's up to because he was a real easygoing, happy, fucking dude.
I give it 8 seconds before Chaille has a picture of Bill Radford up.
Sam had the classic little ears.
What are the chances that Sam and Bill saw each other with the sleeping bags at school, and then after school they didn't even say anything? Sam just went to Bill's house and spent the night, and Bill went to Sam's house.
I lived there for 6 months.
Yeah.
Your prank didn't even work at all.
Yeah. And I hope, I hope they forgive me. Sorry, Sam and Bill, you're out there. I know you didn't probably live too many years. It's like, I don't like the life expectancy is not great for, and I don't know why. I don't know, but you never really run into any senior citizens that are that way. And I don't know, maybe it's the diet or but there's probably something genetically that I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. Maybe there's a bunch of senior citizens.
I think you're right about that. I think you're right about that.
Maybe they don't get enough hugs.
Clearly they get enough hugs.
Well, you're part of the problem then, Andy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I regret. I mean, I regret not being cooler to those guys. I wasn't a dick to them, but I didn't recognize them as classmates.
Right.
Like, they were there when, they were pretty much, they were there at my grade school. They kept them, they had a bus in the middle of, like, at Washington School, there was a bus parked out there, and that was the special needs bus. And they just kept them in a bus all day. And then when they'd come out on the playground, it was kind of like, then the bell would ring for us, and then they would come out. Like, and then the only time I interacted with them was when one of them would take off, and it was like Logan's Run.
Yeah, you told us. That was the very first topic on Issues with Andy.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they were there when I sliced open a pig, So I had a lot of good times with them. But I didn't, I never once on a weekend said, "Hey, Sam and Bill, let's go out and fucking drink some beers."
Yeah.
They probably would have been down. Sure. I didn't mean that.
They would have been. They
definitely would have been down. Sam, anyway.
Well, Sam and Bill.
Yeah, to Sam and Bill and their parents, still having sex well into their 60s. Still making babies way past their prime.
Is that what happened?
I think it's a lot of times. Well, it's genetic, but a lot of times they had really elderly parents. At least the ones in my thing. And why didn't they put it? I would have liked to have had them on the sports teams. I was on the B team a lot of times, and it should have been. Sam Stidham had a pretty good set shot. Would have been a block, but he could have been, like fucking garbage time. Put Sam in. Bill, you wouldn't want on your team. Bill was not an athlete.
But didn't Bill tear down the stall?
No, Troy. Troy was like
Troy would be good on wrestling.
And I don't know who this will offend, but Troy was built like an orangutan. Like big long arms and just like like he looked like a fucking guy you wouldn't fuck with in a bar, but he was fully fucking retarded, childlike, and prone to fits of anger. He didn't graduate with me. I don't know where Troy went, but he was he was probably in his 30s in high school, and they put him somewhere else. Probably
you're fucking town, man.
Too much. Yeah, there was a lot of the special needs kids there, but they didn't really get their needs filled. So, and they just went.
That's a terrible policy to put them on a bus outside of the school and just cordon them off.
and to get other students to wrangle them when they escape.
Yeah.
Chasing them around.
Well,
Yeah, I
to
didn't
be
have any
fair,
training
nobody
either.
else cared about them.
You know, you just
mean,
kind of go, you get a, you know, hopefully there was 2 or 3 kids to go round up one, and then you just kind of try to re-educate them. Like, you got to go this way, or, you know, sometimes they didn't. You know, Tom Edwards, whew, he had sort of superhuman strength, but he would do this. He was the most entertaining by far. In fact, he would kind of do this fucking jig dance and go blah, 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 like you know, and it was a real. He was the entertainer. He's probably in Vegas doing a show.
He was the
or
headliner.
whatever. But Tom Edwards and his jig. Hey Tom, we'd go, Tom, do your jig, and he would always do it. And he fucking loved Tom Edwards. He was my fave. But we lost touch again after. It's like, you know, that's what I admire. Like, you know, you see a picture of high school kids, and they're, you know, way cooler about that, and friends with them and stuff. And it was like they were kept separate, and they were like different and everything. And there was never any, hey, you know, they're just a little bit slow, but they're you know, good people or whatever. And like, you know, it took me years to realize how much fucking fun they are to hang around, you know, like riding with my brother's crew. It was like lots of laughs, you know. My brother had the guy that he called the man baby, and he's like, he was had a difficult situation, but he was just fun as shit to talk to. He'd go into these cop scenarios, like, I'm gonna throw my dog, like he was a bad cop, and then I'd be good cop. And it's like, I'm gonna throw my dog. I chase him. I throw my dog at him. I'm like, you're out of hand, no Callahan. You can't throw a dog at a suspect.
You're doing comedy bits with these guys?
Yeah.
A duo act.
Yeah. Well, you give him David. Like once I went into the store with him and I bought him sodas, and David's like, "Don't buy them sodas anymore." It's like, that's like pouring crack cocaine in an attic.
They can't handle
sugared Pepsis and shit. Yeah, that's what man baby tackled my brother on a pile of magazines and fucking took him down. My brother's like, God damn, man baby, you can't be doing that shit. And he's like, you piece of shit, you fuck you.
This sounds like an Adult Swim cartoon that plays at like midnight or after.
Yeah, but Man Baby
Oswalt voices.
Man Baby was great, and then he started painting with feces at his group home, and then they medicated him out of his uniqueness. Me and we took him to Spider-Man. It's like I went up, I go, you know, I'm buying their tickets, and then I was like, 2 adults, and I pointed at the brothers, and they go, and I had to pay for 4 adults. Come on, man. I mean, sure, they're in their 30s or whatever, but they're not going to get all this movie. They're, you know, it's like, you know. And then we played this. We took them on a bike ride one day, and they stopped. The fucking brothers, both of them, they stopped their bikes like the Flintstones. Like, feet down.
Feet down. They didn't know how to use brakes.
Yeah, they didn't know about the braking thing, and then they did the feet, and then we played softball, and this was David's fault. He brought a hard softball, and I cracked one, and it hit one of them on the fucking. It hit the man baby's brother right in the fucking noggin. Like, fuck, man, you know. And it took him a minute. He was hurt, but it's like, he shook it off. We took him home. Don't say anything about this, man.
Be cool, bro.
So both man baby and his brother.
Yeah, they were born a year apart, and they're both fairly severely not smart. But yeah, like that's, you know, that's a sign. Maybe, you know, I don't know. Like, you only need one, right? What do you need? Clint, I think, still is on the job, but Bob, the man baby, got retired out to a group home where I doubt he's allowed to paint with feces anymore.
Yeah.
Then there was this other dude who was an older guy, and my brother called him Mr. Paste. I think my brother David stole my dad's nickname thing, but Mr. Paste, David would go, well, there goes Mr. Paste, working as slow as you can possibly work and still get paid. And he'd go, all right, Dave. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was like the levity of working with that crew was awesome. And then, you know, and then I noticed how people treated me better because I was like, "Urgh." I didn't make a lot of noise, but I just kind of, they'd say, "Hello, how are you?" And I'd look off, and that's not. I'm not going to win any Academy Awards, but I'd say it was somewhere between Tom Hanks and
Maybe a Nick Cage.
yeah, like Nick Cage.
Mickey Rourke.
I don't think Nicolas Cage has ever actually tried to play a retarded guy, but a lot of times in his movies, you wonder why he hasn't. But Sean Penn did,
Sean
right?
Penn, yeah.
Yeah, Sean. I was between Hanks
We all
and
know
Penn.
that.
Yeah, Sean Penn was probably better. Like Forrest Gump was too idealized. Like, you wait, he's retarded and he's able to tell this long story to somebody on like, I don't know. I'd say that most people would get up from that park bench right away. They wouldn't be like, "Tell me more." All right, do another jig, Tom. Yeah, I mean, that was before I knew about the Godfather of Soul, but I thought Tom was pure entertainment. Like, this is, he could have been a front man.
He was your coke-heeled James Brown.
Yeah, he was one of the guys. He was the runner. He, like Sam Stidham, it would probably take a lot for him to take off and bolt from the playground, but Tom did almost every, he's like get TGI Friday fever or whatever. Take off. Where are you going, Tom? He didn't know where he's going, and he was pretty easy
Tom's
to.
side.
Yeah,
block me in the bus all the time. Fuck it. I get out of that bus. I'm taking off.
I was just a few years away from probably going, "Hey, Tom, let's go smoke some reefer. We ain't got to get back for a while, man. You want to go back to that hot bus?" Or, he's probably, the bus was hot. You take off in the summer.
In that bus.
Uh-huh. Yeah. God darn it. If there was
in that bus.
Yeah. If I was
the
still
worst
friends
part.
with Tom, we'd have a TikTok going. But I'd like to think Tom's still around smashing cardboard or something. Probably not a CEO. But
Not a job.
it took
You
till
can work
the
down
mill.
at the recycling
When
center.
I worked at the mill, I realized, like, especially when I was like bounced out of college and worked in the mill, I used to think, God, I wish I was as dumb as these people, because then they're just they're stupid and their conversations are dumb, and I was always overthinking everything, and I kind of like envied that, being more stupid. But now I realize that those guys had it down. They didn't, they never fucking had to worry about that stuff. It was like, I'm not doing anything with my life. I'm 30 and I'm still in high school. It's just a whole lot of, it's like that's why they're generally pretty upbeat and happy, because they don't think big picture.
Yeah.
Hey, I might.
They don't see all the negatives.
If I'm wrong, call me up, educate me, bros. I don't mean to be insulting. I actually admire, but at the mill, it was like, just kind of like, fuck, because I hated being there. And these guys that worked there had a simple mind. Like, they'd talk about stupid shit and they'd laugh at each other's stupid shit. And I was like, I was a snob because I thought they were fucking idiots and everything they thought was stupid. And it turns out they were.
Yeah.
That they probably graduated in the top 50 anyway. I may be the smartest person who finished almost last in my high school class, but I'm smart. I think I'm smarter than almost everybody that I know from my hometown.
You're very smart, dude. You didn't do well in school, maybe, but
yeah.
I agree with that too. I think
School smart isn't everything.
Yeah.
And you're pretty aware of what's going on in the world.
Yeah, it was like I analyzed shit, and like I said, watch 5 or 6 people interact and judge them all within the first couple of minutes, and then after another day or two, I'm pretty much accurate on it.
But recognizing, I mean, I feel like the same as me, like recognizing, of course, that you're really only interacting with people that are dumber than you anyway. But that doesn't mean anything, because we're still at such a low dumb level. That's why we're interacting with such dumb people. People are much smarter than us, way up the level. We're way down at the bottom of the level with the really dumb people. We feel better about ourselves to judge them.
That's what when I'm around people that are like smarter or whatever, I don't give them many clues, because I don't want them to know how dumb I am or whatever. So I'll just watch them, But yeah, I'm only comfortable around dumb people. That's why I got into comedy.
What's
They're the
that?
ones run across in the audience. No, come on. People who come to comedy shows are some of the smartest people out there, right? Brett? Just
Some of them were at the show
Oh.
last night.
yeah. Was it as bad as what we heard about with Augie's audience?
No. Well, Augie's thing was different because it was the promoter, outside promoter, that was just a crazy person. That's done. So
pretty good gigs.
yeah, last night I just ended up having a little bit of a meltdown during the second show because a table full of guys sent me a blowjob shot and were chanting, yelling at me to do the blowjob shot. And I'm
That's
like,
hilarious.
you. Yeah.
Those guys
in the
must be really
middle
funny.
in the middle of the World War II bit.
Yeah.
like it wasn't like timed by the
Uh-huh.
waitress coming up or
That was
setting
also a
feet
bit
up
of a
to go up in a
problem.
break. Yeah.
Server was new and didn't know not to walk up like that. But just the disrespect involved in, like, you know, I'm talking to them and they just want to see me do a fucking wrap my mouth around a shot glass so they can mock me and point and laugh. Fuck you. And then after it was over, the kid who was really apologetic and he was just really drunk. It was his birthday, and I found out he was a fan. He knew all my bits. He was like, his dad bought him the tickets so him and his buddies could come to the show. And I shit all over the poor kid. Felt like such an asshole when I found it all out.
Wild Bill.
Sorry.
Wild
Happy
Bill.
birthday, Jacob.
Love you, Wild Bill. Oh, fuck you, Bill. Fuck you, piece of shit. I hope you die.
Yeah, it wasn't my finest moment, probably.
Well, there'll be more.
Fuck that guy.
You got to get right back on the blowjob. And
I didn't know what else to do at the moment. In the moment, you know what I mean? Like it felt like an attack, and I responded like it was. I probably should have been more calm and.
I would
really
think
funny. It would have been really funny if I would have been calm enough and not angry, and eventually found out from stage that he was a fan of mine, and that could have been hilarious. And that's why I feel like an asshole too, because that would have been a way funnier way to handle it. But I mean, also, instead.
Well, also, any fan of yours would know what a fantastic roast battler you are, and would expect such.
Yeah, he was, he was contributing for sure.
Sure. But would take it in stride the next day is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I would think,
I hope. We squashed our beef at the end of the night, so he turned out to be an okay kid. He just fucked up, and
The funny part was when I was watching the video today, is he ends up coming towards the stage, and then there's a back and forth, and he
at Coots,
yeah,
with a cadre of fucking security.
Well, Erickson invited him up, and we'll probably show the video eventually.
Oh, shit!
But he ends this whole thing of going to the stage, and Erickson kind of roasting him by saying, "I love you, man, like big fan." And Erickson goes, "Beat it, fuckhead."
I'll just tell it. We'll put the video on. I don't know that it even spoils it. But so he sent me this blowjob shot, and I'm like, fuck you, I'm not doing that. I'm not a dancing monkey, And we went back and forth, and I really did get mad, and it really did throw me off of what I was doing. But so eventually we're having a back and forth, and while he was talking to me, I just fucking dropped down and put my mouth over it and threw it back into my mouth, and everyone cheered, and I brought the glass down, and then I spit it all back into the cup with the whipped cream still on top, and I put it back down on the stool, and then I made him come up and do the shot.
Wow! And then
he came up and did it, and then because he felt bad and he wanted to apologize. He came up, he did the shot, and he's like, "I just want to tell you I love you, and you're great." And I'm like, "Beat it, fuckhead," and I sent him back to it.
Yeah. Now contrast that to my reaction at the glass bar when that Native American popped out of the brush and offered me a real blowjob. I said no, thank you.
Yeah, see, I needed to have your calmness.
Beat it, fuckhead.
Well, see, actually, here's the thing. It's a little bit different, Andy, because in this case, he wanted me to be administering the blowjob. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
Which is a little bit of a different scenario. That guy would have.
I as startled as I was also flattered that, that's when I realized I'm probably one of the hotter guys on this beach. That was
Plus, if we know you
9 years ago.
If we know you and the out of doors, you were probably half jacking off anyway.
Right,
So you're probably a semi-hard.
Yeah, now if I were there, I'd probably be a 5 out there.
Imagine a beach where a guy offering a blowjob interrupts your masturbation. Hey, come on! I'm doing something over here.
Yeah, wait till I put it on the rocks, then you can have it. Not blended, bro. Not a blended. Not one of those blended cocktails.
COVID, man, that's the new normal.
Yeah.
I call it eagle bait. Look out! Get some.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a blue
you gotta
heron
be careful.
down.
A bird will take it.
Yeah, I'll bet a heron would gobble up a load.
Finally get the blue heron to appear.
That's not an ethical photograph, Andy. You can't bait him in like that. That's not...
Cum dripping out of its beak. Oh, I got the ultimate picture of a blue heron, but it's swallowing a load of jizz. Let's Photoshop a little fish in there, and you still got a winner. My mom wouldn't notice the difference.
Oh, God damn it. I love you. All right. That's it.
Yeah.
It has to be. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that's it right there.
That was hilarious.
Fucking love you guys. I can't wait to watch the first 30 minutes.
Beat it, fuckhead.